Regular meeting of September 18th to order. We're going to a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silent prayer. If you'd please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you'll remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. The first item on the agenda are public hearings. The first one is Resolution 2825, which is confirming a special assessment District 69 for the Creekside Village cameras. I would declare the public hearing open. At what time, Clerk Rowe? Do you have a time? 7:02. Would anyone like to speak in regards to the special assessment district for the Creekside Village South neighborhood security cameras? Last chance, if anyone.
I have a couple. This is for read into the record. Was an email sent by resident Amy Cole from Creekside Village South regarding the camera district number 69. She says, I live at 7316 Natalie, and this letter to inform you of my objection to the proposed camera layout in the special assessment district. I protest this plan and do not agree with forcing residents to pay for something that they do not want or need. If a resident feels the need for cameras for security, then perhaps they should exercise their rights to place a camera on their own property and not to force others to pay for something that's not wanted. There are at least 2 other roads leading to a subdivision now, and having cameras at some entrances, but not all, makes not much sense. Placing security cameras at the 2 proposed entrance sites will only be a waste of money, being at the mercy of Comcast and Conti Corporation to set the feeds that they feel it should cost is absolutely ridiculous. This will not increase property values and it may, in fact, make it harder to sell our homes due to the added costs of this proposal. No one wants another bill that can and will be open-ended once the 3-year contract is up. We have no recourse or any other way to object to the fees and will be locked into a bill that will never be never ending. Again, I object to the Creekside Village South neighborhood, and that's sincerely Amy Cole from 7316 Natalie Drive. I actually responded to her and told her that there are cameras on the other 2 streets. And so every street into that neighborhood will have them because there's another district. I also have one for the Manors, which is also on our list of levies. Well, I think it's one whole hearing.
Oh, we're having one.
Isn't it? It's one hearing for the whole special levy. The one for the Manors is from Stephanie Condole and at 7117 Creekway Court. And she says that the Manors concerning the special levy, the Manors at Creekside to add additional streetlights and cameras, my vote will be yes, I support them. And this is from someone on Lakeway, which I think is also the Manors. No, this is actually West, Creekside West. I am writing to express our support for the installation of the new streetlights at the corner of Tuttle Hill. I have kids, it's a safety feature that I feel is needed. In the future, planning holds true, ring net will extend across Tuttle Hill, and where this intersection will be regarding the safety of the kids. I support those. And then from Becky Ashcraft, who lives at 7472 Natalie, so that's going to be Creekside South. I am writing to give my advance approval of the Creekside Village South neighborhood camera special assessment before the public hearing. That's all I have for the record.
So are there any other comments regarding the other special assessment districts for people who may be in the audience for the special assessment levy for 2018, the Creekside Village South neighborhood security cameras, the street lights in Creekside Village South, the Manors at Creekside Village South neighborhood security, and the street lights at Creekside Village, the Manors at Creekside Village, as well as the Creekside Village West streetlights. Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, bless your, that's too tall.
Yeah, I'm good now. Okay, so, I got the notice in the mail.
Could you give your name, please?
I'm sorry.
That's-
Miranda Mikowski at 7568 Natalie Drive in Creekside South. So I got a letter about a public hearing, but I don't know, I don't understand all the details. I understand that you want to install cameras, and this hearing's about that, but I had somewhat assumed that there would be a little information about, like, the intent of that is to reduce crime because we have a high rate of crime, or, I'm sorry, I thought there would be somebody here presenting a little bit more information. Is there not?
So are you?
I'm saying I'm
sure
not
what
aware of
letter
all
you
the
were sent.
details.
I don't know if it's in here or not, but,
Yep. Let me take a jab here.
well, I just wanted to just clarify that you were asking a question on why they are doing the special assessment district
Yes,
for the
the-
cameras.
Yes, I've got a screenshot of the letter that was sent, and I can see the map, but I didn't see any information that said, I saw money, I saw who the Comcast, the stuff that people were mentioning, but I didn't see the
So
history.
I do know, because we've attended a couple of the meetings, the Neighborhood Watch and Association meetings,
Okay,
and they're the ones that brought this issue forward.
okay.
To-
I appreciate that. I, for some reason, don't get contacted from them.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay.
Yes, I'm sorry, I
That's
don't
okay.
mean to come around without my homework.
No,
But again, I
well,
hope to get some information here.
Yeah. So are you in favor or just more asking questions?
Right, I'm not in favor of a solution just because somebody perceives a problem. I'd like to be aware of what the problem is. You said that the cameras are in two other locations. Has crime been reduced in that rate? Has there been a positive impact from that? I was curious. No?
I'm not, which cameras are you talking about, the ones at Manners?
Yeah, no, there's cameras all throughout Ypsilanti Township, and each neighbors either petition the process to get either streetlights or cameras is what's called a special assessment district, which under state law, you can get so many signatures. Under the cameras and stuff, a lot of times we take it to the board. This is the second time. There was a public hearing before on this, but the
Could you
ones
tell
that
me
are.
when that was? Because
Wait a minute, sir, just one, please.
I have no idea when that first was.
No, we'll answer your questions.
Public hearing for we have those right after the homeowners association asked for those, and so there was a public hearing on that.
Okay.
Any special assessment districts that were created, because technically yours has been created, but you get to get a second chance on the year that it's actually going to go on the assessment, and that's what tonight is. The
Okay.
first resolution is for every assessment, and there's probably literally 100, if not more, probably 200 streetlight assessment districts in Ypsilanti Township. There's less of the cameras, probably 10 or something like that, 5, 6, I'm not really sure, because that's kind of a new phenomenon over the last few years. And those come at the request normally of the neighborhood watch groups or the homeowners association.
Okay.
In terms of the reasons, is your area have high crime? I'm not aware there's crime. The jury's kind of out, and people are somewhat divided in terms of, I think most people agree that it doesn't stop crime, but it helps solve crimes. And we actually have very specific anecdotal information. I don't know if you ever travel like to England, they have no guns, but they have cameras everywhere. And that's how so that's kind of based on, they come from New York City and some of the other areas, like trying to find it, because you can't have a cop on every single street and stuff
Right.
too. So,
Okay.
and you could probably, like if you did your research yourself, you'll find out there's as much research saying that you need them and much research that's, but your homeowners association, because you're on Natalie on the south,
Yeah.
they actually approved it. They're the ones that came forward and said, would you do a special assessment? So we had to do two, because you can't put cameras on the decorative lights in the older neighborhoods where there's wooden poles.
Yes.
You can put those up. So that's why you have 2 new street lights.
Okay,
The cameras aren't up yet.
okay,
We hope they will be up before the end of the year. That's the
Okay.
plan. But the street lights are definitely up, and that's where the 2 cameras are going to go on Tuttle Hill. And then the other part, Manners, will have one on Lakeway and Merritt, and on the other street that's on Tuttle Hill. So that's why there's 4 literally special assessment districts, 2 for lights, 2 for cameras in each one of those neighborhoods. And then there's a third one just for street lights, because they didn't want cameras, and that's for Creekside west, which is across the street on Tuttle Hill. It's north. It's the bigger, those bigger homes and stuff. They wanted last year, children, when the time changes, are out waiting for buses in the dark, and the decorative lighting doesn't provide, if you drive at night, you know how much light those new LEDs provide.
Yeah.
They wanted that for their kids waiting on Tuttle Hill, and so they petitioned the board, their homeowners association did, said, would you please, so we go through the process of getting all the prices, and a mailing goes out to everybody in that district based on what the assessing department gives us at the time. Now, some of you may not know anything about it because I'm not, if you're, especially, probably not, if you moved in after that, sometime between when we had the hearing and then now, then you wouldn't have been, the property owner at that time would have been someone else, or could have even been the developer, and so you didn't get the notice and stuff on that for the first one. And I think
According.
the letter
to
says when it was sent, right?
Yeah. Yeah, according to the letter that was sent to the people in the Manors, no, the South, I'm sorry, October 17th.
I'm actually
when
at
it was-
Manners, and I moved in at the end of September, and I did not receive a first notice of any kind.
This is for Creekside Village South.
Okay, I'm in Manners.
Okay, and normally we don't have this many in one public hearing, so I apologize, but let me see what the letter says in the Manors. Did that answer your question? Ms. Mann?
It did. So I will say two things before I step away. The management, the homeowners association was going through another property management, and they've replaced that property management, and those are the people that provided the information on me, which they didn't do. So I apologize for not being as
Oh,
prepared.
no,
Thank
that's
you for
fine,
the-
that's what the meetings are
Right.
for.
And then, and so to answer the question of how I feel about it, I will say that I agree with the person in the letter, which is I don't appreciate my relationships with Comcast on a personal level, and I don't appreciate them on a government level, so I would prefer not to have cameras. I appreciate the extra lighting. That was fabulous, thank you, and that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And you're in the Manors, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
District. September 18th, is that the one, or is that? Creekside Village South was right, the 18th, okay. But it should have been in the letter that was sent to you, let me see. September 19th of 2017.
And so the assessing would have provided us with the addresses several weeks before, before that.
That answers the first question. Second question in your
If you
explanation.
could please go, the actual person who types the minutes, they are not in the room here, so it helps if
Understand.
people could speak into the
Understand.
microphone and give your name and address.
My name is Jeremy Lastly. I'm at 8958 Creekway.
I didn't hear. I didn't hear. Can you repeat it?
Yes, ma'am. Jeremy Lastly, 8958 Creekway. My question concerns the need for that light. There's already a light there on the north corner of Creekway and Tuttle. So the proposal is to put a second light.
The light is up now. It's already up.
There's a light there.
That light has already been put up.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
But
So there's not another light going in. It's already up. After the first public hearing, when it was approved and the board voted on it, we created the district and the light's up.
Okay.
It's that really bright
Yes, ma'am.
light that's on a wooden
Understand.
pole, the LED.
I understand. Your explanation earlier said that someone in the homeowners association requested, or the builder may have requested it. I would like to know who requested.
Now, you were in the
I'm in Manners.
Manners. Manners was requested by the developer prior to most of the people. Actually, it was required as a condition of getting approved by this board that they had to put in the security cameras.
So the next question is,
And
why
they
wasn't?
they actually paid for all the, unlike most of the older ones where the residents have to pay, the developer paid for both the lights and for the cameras to go in. And so all you're going to pay is the operation and maintenance fee.
But I have a special assessment saying I have to pay.
Operation
And that's
and
what-
maintenance only. Your fee is a whole lot lower than most.
So my fee is 5052 for 3 years. That's 86 lots. That's $12,000 to $13,000 for maintenance for
and
a light.
and the operation,
Seems
the
to be
power, the electricity.
Seems to be a a large expense for such a small light, but, okay. For the record, I'm not for this. I don't like a builder telling me that I have to pay for something. If he wants to pass that cost on to me when I buy my home, that's fine, but otherwise, not a good idea.
When did you purchase your home, sir? Was it this year then?
Last year.
Last year? I'm sorry, okay.
Good evening. My name is Valoris Alexander, and I reside at 7380 Eastbrook Drive. So I'm located in the Creekside South Division, and my big question is regarding the cost. I know that the price that we've been forwarded it, or the fee, is a 3-year assessment value, and I'm just wondering if this will be reassessed after 3 years, or will it be at the liberty of Comcast or whomever their service providers are to determine the new rate? I think DTE said it'll by default go to whatever the service rate is at that point in time, but I'm not sure about Comcast.
Streetlights rates are set by Public Service Commission, so they're set that way. I know that recently the township negotiates with the Comcast and Conti, and my understanding is, maybe, Michael, you can speak to it, they actually got a lower rate than over the past 3 years.
Okay, but at the end of the 3 years, will there be new negotiations, or will there be like a market rate that we're subject to?
We're hoping, because there's a lot of folks coming in. I mean, there's no guarantee, but a lot of fiber folks are coming in, AT&T. What have we had, about 3 or 4 this year? So there's going to be a lot more choices in Ypsilanti Township. So even though it might be Comcast for internet that we're hiring now for our security cameras, 3 years from now, I'm pretty confident, maybe not everywhere, but in some places in the township, it's probably, there'll be other competition, which is why Comcast is lowering their rates right now, because
Okay.
there's competition.
So
There
you're
wasn't.
opening up a bid is what I'm assuming I'm hearing. I mean, I'm a buyer, so I understand the lingo about having to open up the bid and allowing the vendors to come in and quote the business. So that's what I'm asking you. At the end of 3 years, where there'll be a bid or RFP going out to additional service providers?
And I'm not sure, but I do know that we have a policy that if it goes up more than 10%, then we have another public hearing,
Okay.
because you can't control the rates, The Public
Exactly.
Service Commission controls the rates for DTE, but Comcast, as we all know, I've never seen them go down, but they did go down for the cameras. I will tell you, they
They
did go
went
down.
down, no, my husband got a really good, they're competing now because they know that we have for internet. Now, I'm not saying for TV, but for internet.
So hopefully that gave you some information that if it's more than 10%, then this board has a policy that they bring it back and have another public hearing to see if the residents still want them.
And that's for the Comcast portion for the cameras, correct?
Correct.
And the DTE portion, I think it was like a municipal value, right? It wasn't a really high value, but I think I read that at the end of a 3-year period that will be subject to whatever the market rate is.
And they have to go to the Public Service Commission in order to change any of the utility rates.
Okay, so basically we can get additional information at the end of this 3-year term, and we'll be informed of what that value may be.
Yep, and every year, we actually set the special assessment districts. So you can go online and see, and if your tax bill is mailed to your mortgage company, but you can also request a copy, and it tells you exactly how much the special assessment is.
Okay.
And you can compare it from year to year as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? So I'm going to close the public hearing at 7:22. Clerk Rowe, just for clarification, we have item A is Special Assessment Levy Resolution 2018-24. And then we have number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Correct. There's 5 resolutions.
There's 6, is that correct? I see 6 resolutions.
Six, you're right.
Oh, okay.
I have an A.
So the first resolution is 2018-24, which is for the annual special assessment district that we do every year. We're required by law to do that. We have to do it before September 30th.
Just for the record, before I read the resolution, this one is for every special assessment that's in Ypsilanti Township. So like you got a mailing, you only got a mailing because yours was created this year. There won't be a mailing next year. But if you're on the website, you know, it's probably going to be around this same time. And if you want to come, like you said, when you get your tax bill and you look at it and say, oh my gosh, it went up more than I thought, or whatever, you have questions, you can call, or you can come to the public hearing. And so the resolution I'm going to read right now is for everything, including sewer and water lines and street lights and cameras that were created prior to 2018. Whereas Resolution 2018-24 is a special assessment levy, and whereas the Charter Township Ypsilanti Board of Trustees on September 19, 2018, held a public hearing on the proposed special assessment roll that was prepared by the Deputy Assessor, a copy of which is on file in the Clerk's office after advertising the same in a newspaper of record in the Township. And whereas on September 19, 2018, the Ypsilanti Township Board heard comments on said proposed special assessment roll prepared by the Deputy Assessor, now therefore be resolved that the proposed special assessment roll prepared by the Assistant Assessor for the Charter Township Ypsilanti be adopted and the amount set forth in the special assessment roll be levied on the 2018 winter tax roll. And there's a special notice under Public Act 188-1954 that lists out all the special assessment levies in Ypsilanti Township based on the neighborhoods or the area it's at. So I would so move adoption of Resolution 2018-24, the special assessment levy.
Support.
Motion Rose, support Wilson to approve the first resolution, which is for the 2018 special assessment levy for everyone in the township. Gerald Rowe.
Can I make a friendly amendment real quick? You read September 19th. I think today's the 18th. I don't know if it makes a big difference, but in the memo it says September 19th, and we're at the 18th today.
Well, if I read it wrong because it says the 18th, so I apologize for that.
Resolution says 8.
Yeah, I apologize, yeah.
Yes.
Eldridge.
Yes.
Ross Williams.
Yes.
Lovejoy Rowe.
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes. Doe.
Yes.
And Wilson.
Yes.
I have
Resolution is approved.
Thank you. We now have Resolution 2018-25, which is a resolution that confirms the Special Assessment District Number 69 for the Creekside Village South neighborhood security cameras. Whereas the township was given notice of the public hearing to consider the assessment roll prepared by the assessor as required by law, and whereas after hearing persons interested therein and after carefully reviewing the said special assessment roll, the township board deems that the said special assessment roll to be fair, just, and equitable, and that each of the assessments contained thereon results in the special assessment being in accordance with the benefits to be derived by the parcel of land assessed. Now therefore be it resolved that the special assessment roll is prepared by the assessor and the annual amount of $46.50 per parcel is hereby confirmed and shall be added and also known as the Creekside Village South Neighborhood Security Camera Special Assessment District Number 69. The assessments made in said special assessment roll are hereby ordered and directed to be collected by the township treasurer, and the township clerk shall deliver the said special assessment roll to said treasurer with his or her warrant attached, commanding the treasurer to collect such assessments in accordance with state law. All resolutions and parts of that resolution, insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution, be and the same are hereby rescinded. I would move adoption of Resolution 2018-25, confirming the Special Assessment District Number 69 for the Creekside Village South Neighborhood Security Cameras.
Support.
Motion Rowe, support Doe to approve the resolution. Discussion? Hearing none, I'm not sure if residents are aware that the township's tax dollars are used to purchase the cameras. So that's a cost that's not passed on to the residents. We're going to do a roll call vote again. Gerald Rowe? Yes. Eldridge?
Yes.
Ross Williams? Yes. Lovejoy Rowe?
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes. Doe?
Yes.
And Wilson.
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is Resolution 2018-26, which is confirming the Special Assessment District 213 for Creekside Village South streetlights.
Whereas the I'm sorry. Whereas the township is given notice of the public hearing to consider the assessment roll that's prepared by the assessor as required by law, and whereas after hearing persons interested therein and after carefully reviewing the special assessment roll, the township board deems said special assessment roll to be fair, just, and equitable, and that each of the assessments contained thereon results in the special assessment being in accordance with the benefits to be derived by the parcel of land assessed. Therefore, it be resolved that special assessment roll is prepared by the assessor in the annual amount of $3.59 per parcel is hereby confirmed and shall be added and also known as Creekside Village South Streetlight Special Assessment District Number 213. The assessments made in special assessment roll hereby ordered and directed to be collected by the township treasurer, and the township clerk shall deliver said special assessment roll to the said treasurer with his or her warrant attached, commanding the treasurer to collect such assessments in accordance with the law, state law. Number 3, all resolutions and parts of the resolution insofar as they conflict with the provisions of resolution B and the same are hereby rescinded. I shall move adoption of resolution 2018-26, resolution that confirms the special assessment district 213 for Creekside Village South streetlights.
Support.
There's a motion by Rowe, support by Gerald Rowe to approve the special assessment district. Is there comments? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Gerald Rowe?
Yes.
Eldridge?
Yes.
Ross Williams?
Yes.
Lovejoy Rowe?
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes. Doe?
Yes.
And Wilson?
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is the resolution confirming the special assessment district number 70 for Manners at Creekside Village neighborhood security cameras. Clerk Rowe?
I have resolution 2018-17 to confirm the special assessment district number 70 for the Manners at Creekside Village neighborhood for security cameras, and whereas the township has given notice of the public hearing to consider the assessment rolls prepared by the assessor as required by law, and whereas after hearing all persons interested therein and after carefully reviewing the said special assessment roll, the township board deems said special assessment roll to be fair, just, and equitable, and that each of the assessments contained thereon results in the special assessment being in accordance with the benefits to be derived by the parcel of land assessed. Now therefore it be resolved that the special assessment roll is prepared by the assessor in the annual amount of $50.52 per parcel is hereby confirmed and shall be added and also known as Manners at Creekside Village Neighborhood Security Camera Special Assessment District Number 70. The assessments made in said special assessment roll are hereby ordered and directed to be collected by the township treasurer, and the township clerk shall deliver the said special assessment roll to the said treasurer with his or her warrant attached, commanding the treasurer to collect such assessments in accordance with state law. All resolutions and parts of resolutions insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution, B, and the same are hereby rescinded. I would so move adoption of resolution 2018-27, confirming the special assessment district number 70 for the Manners at Creekside Village for security cameras.
Support.
There's a motion by Rose, support by Doe to approve the resolution for Creekside Village neighborhood security cameras at the Manners. The developer paid for these, correct, Clerk Rowe?
Let me go back. Yes, Manners, yes.
Okay, are there any questions or comments on this? Hearing none, we have to do a roll call vote. Gerald Rowe?
Yes.
Eldridge?
Yes.
Ross Williams?
Yes.
Lovejoy Rowe?
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes. Doe?
Yes.
And Wilson?
Yes.
That resolution is approved. Number 4 is Resolution 2018-28, which is confirming the assessment District 212 for the Manners at Creekside Village streetlights. Clerk Rowe?
I have a resolution that confirms the special assessment district for number 212 for the Manners at Creekside Village streetlights. Whereas the township has given notice of the public hearing to consider assessment roll prepared by the assessor as required by law, and whereas after hearing all persons interested therein and carefully reviewing the said special assessment roll, the township board deems said special assessment roll to be fair, just, and equitable, and that each of the assessments contained thereon results in the special assessment being in accordance with the benefits to be derived by the parcel of land assessed. Now therefore be it resolved that number 1, the special assessment roll is prepared by the assessor in the annual amount of $3.88 per parcel is hereby confirmed and shall be added and also known as Manners at Creekside Village Streetlight Special Assessment District 212. 2, the assessments made in said special assessment roll are hereby ordered and directed to be collected by the township treasurer, and the township clerk shall deliver said special assessment roll to said treasurer with her warrant attached, commanding the treasurer to collect such assessments in accordance with state law. All resolutions and parts of resolutions, insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution, be and the same are hereby rescinded. I would so move adoption or approval of Resolution 2008-28.
Second.
Motion by Rose, supported by Ross Williams to approve the Assessment District 212 for Manners at Creekside Village. Are there any questions or comment? Hearing none, roll call vote again. Gerald Rowe?
Yes.
Eldridge?
Yes.
Ross Williams?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes. Stowe?
Yes.
And Wilson?
Yes.
The resolution is approved. The last resolution is 2018-29, which is confirming the Special Assessment District 211 for Creekside Village West streetlights.
I have Resolution 2018, whereas the township has given notice of the public hearing to consider the assessment roll prepared by the assessor as required by law, and whereas after hearing all persons interested therein and after carefully reviewing said special assessment roll, the township board deems said special assessment roll to be fair, just, and equitable, and that each of the assessments contained therein results in the special assessment being in accordance with the benefits derived by the parcel of land that's assessed. Now therefore be resolved that number one, the special assessment roll is prepared by the assessor in the annual amount of $4.78 per parcel is hereby confirmed and shall be added and also known as Creekside Village West Streetlight Special Assessment District Number 211. Number two, the assessments made in said special assessment roll are hereby ordered and directed to be collected by the township treasurer, and the township clerk shall deliver the said special assessment roll to said treasurer with her warrant attached, commanding the treasurer to collect such assessments in accordance with the law, state law. Number three, all resolutions and parts of resolutions, insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution, being the same, are hereby rescinded. I so move approval of Resolution 2018-29 to confirm the Special Assessment District 211 for the Creekside Village West streetlights.
Support.
Motion by Rowe, support by Doe to approve it. Clerk Rowe, on the notice of special assessment, this was to switch over to LED, is that correct?
No, this one was to add, last year, we were so excited, we think we actually might get the lights up before the light change, or the time change happens. Because the residents came forward from there, through the HOA, because their children have to wait in the dark when the time changes. And the decorative lighting just doesn't provide as much light. And so they requested 2 street lights be put at the 2 intersections where the bus stops are for the children. And that's what this is for 2 new poles and 2 new long arms with LED lights to go in there.
So we did not switch over and upgrade these to LED?
We did some conversions, but I can't remember. I don't think we did. I can't remember.
Okay,
We did do some of this. We just started the south side, but I don't remember which. I apologize.
that's okay, I was just,
I don't remember. We will eventually convert all of them. If we didn't do this subdivision, we eventually will.
so we have a motion and support to confirm the special assessment district. We apologize for, it's so formal, but when you're creating a district that's taxing people, you have to go through these steps to do that. Roll call vote, Gerald Rowe?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I just want to, really quickly, on the map that's attached to this one, it does say the LED lights are there, so. but
That's the
yes.
way I read it, but I wasn't certain if
Yeah.
that was it.
Yes. Yes to my roll call.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yes.
Eldridge, Ross Williams,
Yes.
Lovejoy Rowe,
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes, Doe,
Yes.
and Wilson.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so we can go on to public comments at this time. If people would like to make a public comment, just go to the microphone and their voice activated. And the person who does the minutes is not in the room, so if we could just be aware of that. Ms. Joanne?
Yes, my name is Joanne McCullum. I live at 1900 Tyler Road. I would like to say that I am for the mailing for the Ypsilanti Township voters. I think that is so important. I know that there's like YouTube and there's things on sites on the computer, And, you know, some people go to that and look at them. A lot of people don't for various reasons. They don't have time, they're not computer savvy, they don't like the computer or whatever. But everyone is going to get their mail and they're going to look at it. So that's why I think it's important, and being an election official myself, to have this advantage for the voters. We know it's so important that they vote, and we want to give them every advantage as possible. And we want to let them know that we do think it's very important that you vote. And so we're going to try and give you every advantage. So if we can, I think that's really important to do that. The other thing I have is I have some residents that live on the end of Nash in West Willow. And they have asked they said they have been contacting you about sidewalks extending. I'm sorry. See, this is why I don't like computers, because I had this, the whole meeting, even at 5 o'clock, I had this on here, and now it wants to change. But I can show you if you want. No, that's the wrong, okay. Anyway, yeah, that's it. They have this is the service drive area where Nash is. And I think I've said something before that there are a lot of people that walk down that service drive. Be nice to get sidewalks down there, but I know that's buku bucks and everything. But, you know, if that's down the road, master plan and all that.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
with these two homes on Nash, next to the service drive, where people are walking and they turn down Nash, instead of crossing the grass area, they come up their driveway. And then they follow the sidewalk, because the sidewalk doesn't come all the way out to the service drive. And so for safety reasons, because they don't feel safe with people coming up to their driveway and then to go down the sidewalk. And so they're requesting that that sidewalk be extended. And I have it on my phone. I don't know if you want to see it. Not?
No.
No.
You can email it to us if you'd like.
Okay, I'll email that to you. And also their names and addresses, the address of the people that are requesting the sidewalk to be extended to the service drive, so people don't walk up in their driveway. So,
Okay, thank you.
all right, thanks.
Are there other public comment?
My name is Arloa Kaiser. I live at 1421 Melvin Street, and at the work session, it was stated that the board meetings, which are public record, are not done verbatim. That upsets me, because how much can be manipulated by having something that is not verbatim. And I am disappointed in the board about the sidewalk ordinance. Apparently, petitions don't mean anything. I worked very hard at getting over 350 names who were against the snow removal ordinance, and apparently that didn't mean much, but yet it was brought up at the work session about sending out for polling letters, which, how much is that going to cost? Wasn't it stated that there are like 24,000 resident or households? So if you're going to send out to all those, what is that going to cost for polling? And as Ms. McCallum just said about these people that have sidewalks and the end no place, there are many of those places. That money could be done for that, since the sidewalks that are being discussed belong to the township. And I still am opposed to it. are many people that are opposed to it. And what does petitioning the board saying that you're opposed to it mean? And then you're going to go ahead and do more polling? If I'd have known that, I could have been out and got more names. And most people say that they do their sidewalks, but now you, the board, have to put a time limit on it, and which is 36 hours. I could be out there every 36 hours doing snow. But do you care? It doesn't sound like you care. And the man who put the initial petition to have you do this, he doesn't even have sidewalks. And the streets near him don't have sidewalks. There are many streets in the township that don't have sidewalks. They're not going to care. But you're going to pull these people anyway. And I am still against sidewalks. And I would hope that the board would vote against it, the ordinance for snow removal.
Thank you, Ms. Kaiser. There is a walkability study that's currently I guess it's in progress. We hired someone to do that. So they will look at some of the gaps that have been identified. And I also know that the Washtenaw County Road Commission is discussing possibility of closing that service drive, remember? And so we need to look at doing the whole area at the same time from a planning perspective. And I actually stopped by that neighbor's house and she wasn't home, but I went out to look at it. So hopefully, when the report comes back that has a walkability study and identifies the areas that actually need to fill in those gaps, I think it would help us for priority and budgeting and capital improvement projects.
There are, if I may, our Lower Kaiser, 1421 Melvin Street, there are a lot of streets that have these gaps. One house might have it, not, and how much is it going to cost the township? But you're not going to be responsible for keeping the sidewalks, and there are a lot of people who will tell you, yes, I want to have the sidewalks cleared so I can walk, but these people don't even walk. There are people that want to have this ordinance that don't have sidewalks.
This
and
is
they say,
separate from the ordinance, Ms. Kaiser.
I know, but these people want it and they don't even have sidewalks, so they don't have to do anything.
So we did authorize that at a previous board meeting. I'm not sure. I think it'll be done next year sometime or end of this year to actually have a walkability study so you can apply for grants. But you have to have a plan in order to apply for grants. Are there any, Lieutenant Morocco?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Lieutenant Mike Morocco. I'm the lieutenant responsible for police services in Ypsilanti Township. In today's day and age, everybody knows that policing involves a lot of documentation, which ends up taking our officers off the road quite a bit. So one of the things we were able to do that is a pretty big thing for us, and it is a big thing for the community based on the time savings. We were able to get one piece of technology to talk to another piece of technology so that we no longer have to double do something. And that should come online on 10/1. And I was just sitting back here with Director Radzik, and we put the math to it. And it's about, if you take 20 minutes per deputy per shift throughout a month's time, it's almost a 200-hour savings per month. So hopefully being able to leverage technology like that and get things going the right way, we'll be able to spend that time more in the neighborhoods instead of sitting behind the computer typing up what we've put in once already. So it's a pretty big thing for us. Also, we've had about 350 larcenies from vehicles this year, and about 330 of them are from cars that have been left unlocked. Loaded guns have been taken out of these cars on more than one occasion. The way that they're getting into these vehicles is they walk down a street and they pull on the door handle. If the door is open, they go in and take what's in there. If the door is locked, they keep going. We will have we sometimes will get 20 of them in a night down the same street. Please lock your doors. That's it. Thank you.
Lieutenant Morocco, thank you. Clerk Rowe?
Lieutenant, you said 2 technologies are going to talk, but you didn't say what those were. Or did I miss it?
There was a live activity log that we were filling, that we had to fill to monitor all the time that the officers, what they were doing, so we can track their progress, which would have, so if they got sent to a run, say they got sent to one of those larceny from auto complaints, they would get that call sent to them on their computer. They would then go through that, take care of that, document it there, then they would have to go to a separate log and then input all that they did, the time they got sent there, who they talked to, and what basically the outcome was. They would have to put onto a separate application. So now those 2 things talk to each other. So everything that comes in to the primary system gets downloaded right into the other system. So Clemis is the major piece that we're using. So,
Thank you.
make sense?
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Mr. Radzick?
If I may, just briefly, this board takes a lot of action on a lot of things over the years, and you don't always hear the impact it has on people's lives. I just wanted to share a very quick story. 2 years ago, September 2016, you voted to approve an amendment to our property maintenance ordinance that required carbon monoxide detectors, alarms, to be put in every single, inside every single rental dwelling unit. And our staff has been implementing that over time. A couple of months ago, those were installed under that ordinance in the Country Meadows apartment complex on South Congress Street, just east of Hewitt Road. This past weekend, an incident occurred there where the sheriff's department, our fire department, responded because people were bailing out of a particular building with beet red faces and choking because of carbon monoxide filling up those units. It turned out there were 7 units in a building containing a little more than 30 units that had filled up with natural gas and carbon monoxide because of, they haven't determined yet if these were faulty stoves that were recently installed or faulty gas line installations. But the bottom line is the police and the fire department ended up kicking some doors to evacuate people to save their lives. And we all kind of feel that there probably would have been some fatalities had those alarms not been installed. So just a little reminder of the actions that you take, and it actually has impact and real world benefits to the community.
Thank you, Michael. Would you please use your microphone for the person in the minute?
We're following up on that.
Yeah. Probably not.
Ms. Kaiser, can we let this resident speak first, please?
Good evening. My name is Anastasia Paziamor. I live at 573 Kansas. I was wondering if we could look into the feasibility of adding at least 1 or 2 streetlights to the service drive between E-Course and our neighborhood. There is absolutely no light there, and with no sidewalks, people are walking in the streets, and at night, it is extremely difficult to pick somebody out. The fact that we've had numerous accidents in the E-Course area between Harris and Dorset, as well as pedestrian fatalities, which led to the remodeling of the area. I was hoping that we could potentially get some sort of safety study to see whether or not that would be workable.
And just for clarification, were you talking about the service drive on, I'm trying to figure out, then you talked about Dorset and...
Yeah, so on E-Course,
Yes.
Between Harris and Ford,
Okay.
our neighborhood is right next to a little strip mall with a subway and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So right on that service drive that's right next to the strip mall that runs across all 3 streets in our neighborhood, there are no lights and no sidewalks. So that service drive is extremely dangerous.
Yep. Ford Boulevard? Are you talking about Ford Boulevard?
It's between, it's on E-course between Harris and Ford. And we live in a small neighborhood that's adjacent to a strip mall with a Subway and
Right.
some chicken place.
Is it Parkwood? Is that
I
the?
just don't know where the service drive is.
Yeah, it's the one that connects to Kansas. Yeah.
Is it a connector street then?
No.
It's 3 streets that have one way in, one way out to those 3 streets. Exactly what it is. It's E-course. My relatives live there.
It's not service drive.
Thank you.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
all right.
So I would agree that it needs like.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate it. I do know that we had a meeting with MDOT, and there was actually a public meeting, which a lot of residents were invited to do a street light and safety analysis for Dorset, the service, that intersection there, and we go on US 12 and Wired, and it was actually held in at the Westfellow Church there last Thursday. So because it is not well lit there, there's not a lot of good signage yet. So we're trying to see if we can apply for grant funds in order to make that happen as well. So thank you for bringing that up.
Arloa Kaiser, 1421 Melvin Street. Just a couple of positive things. I want to tell you that the street sweeper has gone by and did a fantastic job. They were there at 7 o'clock in the morning. I heard this funny noise, and it was a street sweeper. And also, it's good to see that on the new recycle papers that they have taken the pizza box off, that pizza boxes are not allowed anymore.
Thank you, Ms. Kaiser. All right. That concludes public comments, and we have a consent agenda, and we're going to remove the special meeting and
No, close.
the closed session that was held on August 24th. So the request is for the minutes of the August 21st, 2018 work session and regular meeting, and the August 24th special meeting with the changes that were discussed in the work session. Then we have statements and checks, as well as the August 2018 treasurer's report.
Move to approve.
Support.
Support.
Motion Doe, support Gerald Rowe, to approve the consent agenda. Are there questions on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Attorney's report, general legal update. Mr. Winters?
Madam Chair, I do have a general legal update, but if I might, just for a second, I can't help but at least say this. I know we always start our board meetings with a moment of silent prayer, and I believe that's a good thing. Maybe that silent prayer might need to be raised a volume or two, only because I think our township at times has taken some pretty significant body blows with a lot of our employees, administrative staff, and township officials having to deal with so many different challenges. And I know that I'm never going to get into anybody's specific situation other than to know that we have a lot of people hurting in our township. And when you see people every day for as long as we have and for as many hours as we do, you actually see them more than you do your own family members. They are your family. And when you see people that are hurting, I just think right now we just, and I do have a lot of business items to cover, but I just wanted to at least to take a moment to say right now that I know there's a lot of people that are hurting in our township and even in our country with the Carolina situation, to just, again, just take that extra moment to let someone know that you care, especially when you see them in the township, and that would go a long ways. I did see a gentleman today that was kind of bothered me because I saw an elderly woman that was making her way towards the business establishment, and the gentleman saw her and he actually started walking faster, I think, because he did not want to be caught where he felt like he had to stand there and open the door for this elderly person who was moving a little bit slower. So obviously I did that. But I'm just saying that it's these small acts of thoughtfulness and kindness that I know we have a lot of business items to deal with, and I just want to, we have men of the cloth here. I know that they probably would do a lot better job than I would trying to explain the need for continuing prayer for our community and people that live and work here. And a lot of people are hurting. I just want to let the board know that we need to always keep that in mind, because we get caught up in our business. I get caught up in writing letters and doing all the things that attorneys do. But at the end of the day, the big picture is the people who actually work here and the residents who depend upon them to service them. And I just want to take a moment to remind everybody that we have a lot of people hurting in the township here. So that being said, I'll actually do my attorney report. We do have a number of different issues that impact the township, and sometimes it's hard to really say the similar report in different ways, because sometimes the more things change, the more they stay the same. But we do have a lot of things going on in this township, and some people might shake their heads if they actually could see what's really going on. But for example, our township continues to try to stabilize our neighborhoods. That's been probably the strongest policy of the township board for the last 10 years. The housing foreclosure crisis, as we all know, had much more of an impact upon Ypsilanti Township than many parts of Washtenaw County. And we've continued to scratch and claw our way back to where we were 10 years ago. We've come a long ways. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. One of the ways that we do that is we try to acquire properties whenever they become available through the county treasurer, where houses have gone back for tax foreclosure. We did acquire 3 this past foreclosure auction. Those in turn will be sold to Habitat on October 1st. The 2 properties right now that are scheduled for closing are at 1601 Foley Street and 835 LeMay. And as Habitat has done in many dozens of times, they take these properties and they actually, the makeover is phenomenal in terms of what they do. They'll take a home that would be, at first glance, something that might be a $5,000 or $10,000 fixer-upper, but they take that beyond the fixer-upper to a whole new level. They'll put in $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 or more into a home. And by doing so, they not only stabilize the neighborhoods, they also increase the home ownership. They also give an opportunity for a family that may never have had an opportunity to live in a home they own, to live there. And they also increase the values of their neighbors, so that if someone wishes to build an addition or take out a loan to do improvements, the banks will look at their most recent comps and will take that into consideration to make a loan to a neighboring property that has benefited by being in the Habitat area, Habitat home rather. And so we continue to acquire those properties. We continue to increase the value of home ownership. We continue to stabilize the neighborhoods. Sometimes counteracting that effort, and Lieutenant Morocco and Director Radzik are well aware, we continue to also put a lot of pressure on property owners who allow their houses to be used for the sale of drugs. We go after those properties. We go to the circuit court on those properties. We ask the court to padlock those properties, because we do not want to have anyone to believe the Ypsilanti Township is going to be a sanctuary or a haven to sell drugs. And so we have a couple of those that are in the works right now. Can't go into detail because there's still evidentiary issues that are being worked out. Suffice it to say, though, we continue to take advantage of a law that was changed for the benefit of townships primarily. And the township, while we may be the only one actively using this in the county, we have, I think now, Mike can tell you, we may have as many as 14 or 15 different properties that have been declared public nuisances. And have been padlocked because of the township's position that if you have a drug house, we're going to have issues in that community, and that neighborhood deserves far better. And so we continue to keep our eye on that issue, and we depend upon the neighborhood watch. That's significant to let us know. Most all these cases arise from neighbors know what's going on. If they see cars coming into a house at odd hours of the day and night, over and over and over, they know there's something going on, and we get that information and we keep that confidential, and then pass it on to the police. We also continue to try and figure out ways to improve our commercial corridors. One of those properties that this township board stood tall was in regards to the Forbes Dry Cleaners on Ecorse Road. There was a property that had been abandoned by the property owner. It was a contaminated site. The county treasurer was determined to sell that property, even though it was contaminated, to what might have been an unsuspecting third party. The township, this board went to those meetings and also authorized us to do whatever was necessary to make sure that sale did not go through. The MDEQ stepped in, the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality. They stepped in, recognized the danger that a lot of dry cleaners used to use solvents that are carcinogenic called PERC. Can't give you the actual chemical name, but trust me, it's a bad one. PERC is what it's called. I was notified late this afternoon that we're definitely going to have that property demolished. The asbestos abatement is currently underway. You may see the staging going on right now on Ecorse Road. They're going to also have the demolition underway in October. That property will be remediated with the soil. And again, as part of our continuing efforts to, the board's efforts to expand our commercial tax base, we're continuing to do what we can to look at East Michigan Avenue and Ecorse Road. Our planners are looking at trying to come up with what is the best plan for those areas, because there's a lot of potential, and we don't want that part of our township not to also be part of the renaissance that we see going on in other parts of the township in terms of commercial activity. So that will come down in October. In regards to Trustee Jimmy Wilson's always trying to tell me to look under every rock to try and find more money, and I'm running out of rocks to try and find, but a couple of things have come up that are worth noting. We are moving forward with the cell tower located at Holmes Road. We have already been able to leverage the sale of the cell towers that we owned on the township properties. We have one remaining. We have close to $1 million we've acquired in previous negotiations that we used to pay off the Seaver bond indebtedness. That Seaver bond has a very big potential for our future development in the township. That property is owned free and clear. That's a very significant achievement that we were able to do, because again, when you own property free and clear, you don't feel the pressure to do something because someone comes along, they might make an offer, and you might feel more pressure to take that. By having the property paid for free and clear, it gives the township board a lot more options. The Holmes Road cell tower, the price we negotiated was $174. That's moving forward. They're doing their due diligence on that. I think the person may be contacting Mike Radzik, I mentioned in the letter, to make sure they have access to the site to do due diligence. Moving forward with that, that $174 does not include the payment we received this year that we're allowed to keep, so there'll be close to $200,000 for that property. The hydro station, we spent a lot of time talking about the hydro station with DTE. They currently have $800,000 of our money set aside in an escrow account. We tried our best to have those dollars released in a lump sum to allow us to do more with our money, but the way the contract currently reads, we're entitled to get 10% of our escrow back every year for the next 10 years. There was a disagreement between when that 10% begins to come to township, comes to the township. Suffice it to say that Cracker Jack, Giovanna Neal, and Michael Cernan, along with Treasurer Doe, all agreed that our calculations were correct, that the money starts flowing to the township at the end of this year. And so for purposes of township budgeting going forward, the township will receive a 10% of at least $800,000 this year, and that 10% will follow for the next 9 years. I mention that because there's a lot of younger township board members that will be around for many years to come, and that 10% is something that you should always remember. It's something that the township is entitled to get, and it's not money to be shared with the city. It's money that belongs to the township, and that money will go into the budgetary planning. We also have been meeting with this township assessors to make sure that in regards to the development of the American Center for Mobility, we do have kind of a unique formula that guarantees the township receives a pilot payment, a payment in lieu of taxes. We are expecting this year's payment to be at least $210,000. That's $91,000 more than what we received last year. It's based upon capital investment. We've asked for a meeting with ACM because we're now nearing the end of the third quarter, believe it or not, for this year. And we want to see exactly if their numbers comport with our numbers. We think they have more investment on the property than what they've reported to date. Not anything they're trying to do intentionally, but just something that maybe have not been calculated the same way as the way that we look at capital investments. So anyways, we do know that we have a better relationship in regards to how we're exchanging that information, and I look forward to at least seeing that going into the township's coffers next year. So that kind of gives you somewhat of a snapshot of the neighborhoods, of the environmental issues, of also with the financial issues. We also have a long-term goal. The township, as you know, spent a lot of time and money on Liberty Square development. That was a townhouse that was located on Grove Road. It had 161 units. That property was demolished per litigation for a lot of reasons that went on over a number of years, police issues. The township has control, ownership primarily through acquiring those properties through tax foreclosures for non-payment of taxes. We were down to having 6 remaining property owners. The township has acquired 4 of those 6, so we're now down to 2 remaining property owners, and we're feeling confident that we'll acquire those 2 here in the near future. And so I'm hoping by the end of this year the township will have complete ownership of that piece of property, which, as you know, also provides a tremendous amount of opportunity for commercial development on the Grove Road, Rossonville Road corridor, especially when you have the freeway access exit coming off of 94. So there's a lot of good things that are happening. A lot of good people are putting a lot of good time into this. Nobody can do this by him or herself. And so that's kind of, again, a little bit of a snapshot for those that may not come to our meetings on a regular basis. At the same time, we'll also try and keep be mindful of all of our employees and staff and board members who have issues that can use a little extra prayer. So that concludes my report for the evening.
Could you also, we have a new owner of Galt Village?
Do we have a new owner of Galt Village?
That's good news.
I think that Mike has been working with my law partner, Dennis McLean. I'm not sure if they have a action plan that's ready to be announced yet. No, Mike shaking his head no. But we do have a new owner, which is a good thing because that person, I think, has expressed a willingness to sit down and show what he plans to do. And again, we need to have that part of the township redeveloped again, because there was a time when all of us, we can remember, we all grew up there. Karen worked there herself at Grant's as a waitress, where there was a thriving commercial, very, very thriving. Farmer Jack's was there for years, and one of the top stores in the state there, because of the number of rooftops that service that area. So we need to revitalize and rehab those existing properties, and we're going to continue to try and use every tool in our toolbox, and as the board authorizes, to make it happen faster. So going in the right direction.
Emmerich Street also, it's not paved yet because there's issues. Well, there's a strike with the pavers, but that road between the city and the township that abuts Galt Village, which you have access to the banks and Rite Aid and the dentist office, that will be paved this year as well. So that was approved by the board, so that's good. Like a washboard over there, isn't it? Thank you, Mr. Winter. Under old business, we have the second reading of ordinance 2018-480, an ordinance to amend Chapter 62, Article 4, Sections 62 through 76 of the Code of Ordinances, Charter Township, Ypsilanti, to adjust the water service rates. The first reading was held at the August 21st, 2018 regular meeting.
Move to approve.
I have support.
It's an ordinance. It's an ordinance. We have to
Proposed ordinance 2018-480. I have the second reading of that. Adjustment of the water service rates, an ordinance to amend 62, Article 4, Section 62 through 76 of the Code of Ordinances for the Charter Township Ypsilanti to adjust the water rates. Be it ordered by the Charter Township Ypsilanti that Chapter 62, Article 4, Section 62 through 76 of the Code of Ordinances be amended as follows. And for all the bills that are rendered prior to, pardon?
It's hard to hear you because you're not.
Oh, the mic? Sorry, thank you. For all billings rendered prior to October 1st, 2018, existing water service rates shall prevail. For all billings that are rendered on or after October 1st, 2018, water service rates shall be as follows for each monthly month period, and they're listed in the ordinance from 5/8 to 3/4 for $14.94 all the way to 12 inches for $4,855.50. The commodity and water contracts community rate is $3.23 per 100 cubic foot. The ordinance shall be effective upon the date of publication. I would so move the approval of the second reading of ordinance number 2018-480, an ordinance to amend the charters, amend Chapter 62, Article 4, Section 62-76 of the Code of Ordinances for the Ypsilanti Township, which will adjust the water rates.
Motion Rowe.
Support.
Support Doe. We do have the YCUA director here. Well, there's residents in the room that weren't at the work session. I think it would be good. 'Cause they're changing.
Thank you. Good evening.
Jeff Castro.
I'm Jeff Castro, the Director of YCUA. Again, I'm here for the second reading to amend both the water and sewer ordinance to remove the minimum use charge and incorporate a readiness to serve charge for both water and sewer, and also to rescind the surcharge ordinance. So because the surcharge will be incorporated in the readiness to serve charge and the commodity rate. Also, I supplied the board with a letter that we will be applying to possibly the bills, and also on our website for more information explaining the change. And again, to simplify this, we are removing the minimum use charge, which customers who currently use 0 units of water pay $59.41, regardless if they use 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 units of water. So moving forward, each customer will pay the equally amount of a readiness to serve charge for water. Everybody will pay the same amount for the readiness to serve charge for sewer, and everybody will pay the same amount per 100 cubic feet of usage, which is the commodity rate. Therefore, it will be much easier for us to apply information on our website how to conserve water, because now everybody will be able to conserve water by using less water.
Okay. There will be, it's a new rate structure. It's been in place since the early 70s. And like Mr. Castro said, it has a 6-unit regardless how much, if you use 2 units, and a lot of people were trying to conserve, so they would have their bill go down, and they couldn't do it because there was this rate. So now this is a new rate structure that is recommended by.
The new rate study that we conducted in 2016 that is just now wrapped up in 2018.
And it's several communities in the state of Michigan. This is
80% of most utilities throughout the state and the country utilize the readiness to serve charge rate structure.
So this will change it. So when you get your bill, it will be different, and it will really assist those who are on a more fixed income, and you watch everything, and you can't you can reduce your electricity, but you could never reduce your water bill, and now you will see a reduction in that. So I think that's the most positive thing that comes out of it.
Yes.
And an example in the letter, well, 1 unit is 100 cubic feet of water, which is 748 gallons.
Correct.
So that's a lot of water when you read it like that. And it's going to, some of the examples in the letter, I don't know, for the person who's going to, the bi-monthly water and sewer bill, if they had 3 units of water, it's currently $59.41. It will go down to $48.05.
Correct. And those who have sprinkler meters will also see a difference in their bi-monthly.
Because a lot of people buy the sprinkler water, so you don't have to pay the sewer charge, and that's a reduction from $32.16 to $17.16 for 3 units of water. So it's a substantial savings. Now, if you use over 6 units, then you're going to pay a little bit more, which is more of a fair rate because you use more water.
Correct. Correct. And we'll also have information on our website as well, and maybe in the letter as well, on information on what it costs to use things in your household that you do every day, like a 10-minute shower. It's 25 gallons, which costs 27 cents. A bath, which is 45 gallons, is about 49 cents. A dishwasher that uses 10 gallons is approximately 11 cents. A simple flush of a toilet is 1 cent, 1.5 cents, and so on. We'll have all that type of information on our website, as well as a calculator on our website where all YCUA customers can go to our website and punch in the amount of units that they think they're going to use or do use. It automatically calculates your water bill for you.
Are there any questions or comments? I mean, we discussed it at length, but since we have an audience, I thought it would be good to point those things out. All right. I know a lot of work was put into it, and we thank you, and hopefully people will see a reduction, the ones that really need it. And we also have available for homeowners that if they qualify, we give a subsidy from the township budget in order to help people with
Correct.
expenses like the water. It's just, the basic things are getting higher and higher, right? So we have a motion and support. It was a motion by Rowe, supported by Joe, to approve the second reading and adopt it. Gerald Rowe?
Yes.
Eldridge?
Yes.
Ross Williams?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes. Doe?
Yes.
And Wilson?
Yes.
The second reading is approved and the ordinance is adopted. Number 2 is a second reading of ordinance 2018-481, an ordinance to amend Chapter 62, Article 4, Section 62 through 77 of the Code of Ordinances regarding the adjustment to the sewer disposal rates. Clerk Rowe?
I have the second reading for ordinance number 2018-481, the adjustment of sewer disposal rates. An ordinance to amend Chapter 62, Article 4, Sections 62 through 77 of the Code of Ordinances for the Charter Township of Ypsilanti to adjust the sewage disposal rates. Be it ordered by the Charter Township of Ypsilanti that Chapter 62, Article 4, Sections 62 through 77 of the Code of Ordinances be amended as follows. For all billings rendered prior to October 1st, 2018, the existing sewage disposal service rates shall prevail. For all billings rendered on or after October 1st, 2018, sewage disposal rates shall be as follows for each bi-monthly or a 2-month period. The readiness to serve rates based on the size of the meter, a 5/8 to 3/4 is $15.68, 1 inch $39.20, 1.5, $78.39, 2-inch, $125.43, a 3-inch is $783.92, a 6-inch is $1,567.83, a 8-inch is $2,743.71, a 10-inch is $4,311.54, and a 12-inch is $5,095.46. The commodity rate is $2.58 per 100 cubic feet. This ordinance is effective upon the date of publication. I would so move adoption of the second reading of the proposed ordinance 2018-481 for the adjustment of the sewage disposal rates.
Motion Rowe,
Support.
support Doe to approve the second reading. Discussion?
Madam Chair, just a point of clarification. The 3-inch meter size is actually $391.96. It just, I think the line got skipped on that one, so I just wanted to make sure it was clarified.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hearing no discussion, and we will, Gerald Rowe,
Yes.
Eldridge,
Yes.
Ross Williams.
Yes.
Rowe,
Yes.
Stumbo vote yes, Doe,
Yes.
and Wilson.
Yes.
The second reading is approved. Under new business, we have budget amendment number 13.
We have a
Clerk Rowe?
third one. Brandy, we have
Oh,
one
I'm
more
sorry.
ordinance.
Oh, daggone it. Strike that from the recording. The second reading is second reading of ordinance 2018-482, an ordinance to repeal Chapter 62, Article 4, Section 62 through 79K of the Township of Ypsilanti Code of Ordinances. First reading was held at the August 21st meeting. Clerk Rowe.
I have the second reading of ordinance number 2018-482 to repeal Chapter 62, Article 4, Sections 62 through 77 of the Code of Ordinances. An ordinance to repeal Chapter 62, Article 4, Sections 62 through 79, Paragraph K of the Charter Township of Ypsilanti Code of Ordinances, which provides for a restricted debt retirement and capital improvement fund surcharge on water service and sewage disposal bills, because said surcharge is now a part of and fully included in the readiness to serve and commodity rates established by the water rate ordinance at Chapter 62, Article 4, Sections 62 through 76, and established by the sewer rate ordinance at Chapter 62, Article 4, Sections 62 through 77, each rate ordinance being effective October 1st of 2018. Be it ordained by the Charter Township of Ypsilanti that effective on October 1st, 2018, Chapter 62, Article 5, Sections 62 through 79, Paragraph K of the Code of Ordinances repealed. The ordinance is effective upon the date of publication. I move the second reading of ordinance 2018-482, which repeals Chapter 62, Article 4, Section 62 through 77 of the Code of Ordinances, basically the surcharge.
Second.
Motion Rowe, supported Ross Williams. Is there discussion on that? Just for the audience's purposes, the city of Ypsilanti had to adopt the same ordinances for water and repealing of the ordinances, because the city and the township is the Ypsilanti Community Utilities Authority. So, and they've already approved it, correct? All right. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Gerald Rowe?
Yes.
Eldridge?
Yes.
Ross Williams?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes. Doe?
Yes.
And Wilson.
Yes.
Now we can move on to new business, budget amendment 13.
I have a motion to amend the 2018 budget, this is the 13th time this year, to increase the general fund by $27,048, which is for several agenda items tonight. The Munitrix, which we'll talk about, election milling that's proposed, and for wages for new and upgraded positions, and for a health care change to $10,476,925, and approve the line item changes as outlined, and to increase the compost fund budget by $3,084, which is the wages from negotiations for an employee, to $564,517, and approve the line item changes as outlined. I would move the budget amendment.
Support.
There's a motion by Rowe, supported by Gerald Rowe, to approve the budget amendment. We discussed in work session in the future, we're going to move it to the after the approved item, so we can discuss it before we vote on it. Any questions or comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is the request of the Washtenaw International Music Boosters for a local governing body resolution for a charitable gaming license.
So move.
Support.
There's a motion and support to approve the request. Is a petitioner here? I am. Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Okay, thank you for considering our request. The Music Boosters serves over 400 students at Washtenaw International High School and Middle Academy. That is about 60% of the student body. School opened in 2011, and since that time, the Music Boosters was primarily in existence for the high school, but this year, with the incorporation of the Middle Academy, we've expanded our mission to include both the high school and the middle school. And so in expanding that mission, we found that we wanted to offer not only more opportunities for our students to do a variety of different things like field trips, have clinicians come in, purchase instruments, et cetera, and music, which is over $1,500 a year. So we thought that any opportunity to be able to add to what we can offer back to the music department, that we should take every opportunity to do that. And we saw this as a way to do that. Not only that, but it allows us the opportunity to also reach out into the community and connect with Ypsilanti businesses, which we've done a number of times. And you'll note that up there on Noteworthy, for example, every year as part of that event, we say thank you to local businesses, and we provide them with a certificate of appreciation. And this past year, Mai's Mexican Cantina helped us out tremendously. And, I could go down through Depot Town and name almost every business there, and they're always there to help us and support us. So any support that you could offer to us would be appreciated, greatly appreciated. So if you could pass this for us, we would appreciate that as well.
Excellent.
So thank you for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. And your name for the record, sir? I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's Rudy or Rudolph, like the reindeer, Alvarado. Okay, thank you.
And Dr. Alvarado is a township resident. They live in Galt Village.
I am. My son Nico actually went to the middle school, West Middle School, and then he also graduated, was one of the first to graduate from Y High as well. So, we're Ypsi educated in our middle school and Y High educated in our high school. So I think he's one of the few that can actually say that. So yeah, we're very proud of everything that he did at West Middle as well, and to be back in that building is pretty cool too.
So this will allow you to sell raffle tickets, right?
It will. Yeah,
fundraising.
we're looking to just sell simple raffle tickets for $25 items, $100 items, and if anybody has $1 million item we could raffle, that would be awesome too. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comment?
Madam Chair, I would just like to say thank you for bringing your family, and is this your daughter that plays the flute?
It is.
Awesome. Well, make sure you just keep playing, and it's so wonderful to see younger people at public meetings like this, so it's very, very important. Thank you.
Madam Chair, just real quick.
Yes.
As a band geek, former band geek myself, I am very happy to see you here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing us forward. Thank you. I support band programs.
So the resolution isn't filled out in the packet, just
No, we just felt we proved this.
Just
and,
format.
mhm.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, because I know it's a lot of hours that you put in, and then I know probably a lot of it's not necessarily appreciated, but I definitely appreciate folks who work really hard to support our kids, and your dad's doing a great thing. I know you probably don't realize it now, but we really do appreciate what you're doing for all the kids, and especially in the area of music. So thank you.
All right, thank you. We have a motion by Rowe and a support by Doe to approve the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is request of Washtenaw International High School Parent-Teacher Organization for a local governing body resolution for a charitable gaming license. Clerk Rowe?
Oh, welcome, Ms. Barker.
Good evening. I'm Sue Barker. I'm the person who wrote the letter. I serve as the treasurer for the Washington International PTO, as well as the Washington International Music Boosters. So this is, well, do you need my address? 8333 Thornhill Drive, 16-year resident of Ypsilanti Township.
Yay.
Lisa Brown, 545 DuPont Avenue, 18-year resident. At this time, lived down south for about 5 years and was here before that. And I'm the PTO president for Y-High and YMA.
So do you have questions?
We just have a resolution that we'll fill out after the board authorizes. It's a request by the organization you just met them for a gaming license required by the state of Michigan to legally sell raffle tickets or raise money through those kinds of fundraisers. So.
Correct. Our building recently moved into 105 North Mansfield over the summer, which is here in the township. So we're very excited to be at West. It's closer for us, for our children to go. And my daughter is currently a freshman, and she did attend YMA and attended Estabrook prior to that. So we're very excited to be in the township and would greatly appreciate the gaming license because it will help us with our PTO endeavors to provide field trips and enrichment for the students of the school.
Excellent. Now, that's one place they need a sidewalk, too, is going up to that school. They've asked how many years, Karen?
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Lost track.
So hopefully
Madam
that'll
Chair.
be in the report. We need a motion and
I'd move to approve.
Motion no. Support Eldridge to approve the high school parent-teacher organization local governing body resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 4 is a request of AT&T for a Metro Act right-of-way permit extension for the term ending December 31st, 2023. Clerk Rowe?
Will we approve the request for the extension?
Support.
A motion Rowe, support Gerald Rowe to approve the extension. Discussion? One of the requirements that the state law has, actually, is that it's for AT&T, and they're putting in underground infrastructure for AT&T, and we asked for a map of what they're currently doing, and we could ask for a bond if we wanted to do that. They're more in the road right-of-way, and they do get a permit from the Washtenaw County Road Commission to do that. And in the letter, it's very important that every year they send us an updated map of what they completed. And I know it's proprietary, but they're supposed to send it to us, so if you could make that a condition of, or if you could just put it in the letter, that would be great.
Madam Chair.
Will do.
I just wanted to make a note that our state rep, Ronnie Peterson, I know that you mentioned it to him, and then I brought it up, and he said, all right, I hear you guys. So I know he's trying, just discussing it in Lansing, but
Right, yeah,
not
good point. And
super confident about how that'll go. But
yeah, they're trying to change it so that we can get a little more information from them, because there's a
still
lot of stuff in our,
longer timeframe.
there's a lot of infrastructure, and there's a lot of new businesses coming that are different than the big corporations, and we don't know where they're at. It's really hard to, and they're required by law to show us, and it took us a while to get this map, but we do appreciate getting it. So we have a motion by Rowe, supported by Gerald Rowe, to approve the extension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I just need to make sure I collect the maps because they are I'm not saying that word.
Proprietary.
Proprietary. Tongue twister.
Number 5 is a request of Travis McDougall, IS Manager, to authorize the department to recycle the existing and future retired mobile devices through the Verizon Recycle Program in exchange for the credit to be applied to our Verizon invoices.
So moved.
Support.
Motion Eldridge, support Rowe Gerald Rowe to approve the request. Discussion? I know Travis is in the back. To dispose of any property, it's township property, we have to authorize it. can't give it away, you can't throw it away. It's just, you have to do this. And this is actually a good way of getting some money for the old phones, so. We have a motion by Eldridge, a support by Gerald Rowe to approve this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is a request of Mike Razik, the OCS Director, to approve the letter of agreement to police services contract that creates summer youth employment opportunities in the amount of $27,000, which is budgeted in line item 266-301-000-831-005.
Support.
Motion Rowe, support Doe to approve the agreement. Question? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 7 is a request of Giovanna Neal, our accounting director, for approval of the Munitrix annual subscription notice in the amount of $4,995, which is budgeted in line item 101-201-000-958-000.
Move to approve. Support.
Clarity.
Monica Ross Williams did it.
Monica Ross
Still
Williams.
supported.
Support by Doe to approve. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 8 is a request to change order notice 1 to the current agreement with Graphic Sciences for imaging and microfilm services, which were effective June 1st, 2018 to June 1st, 2023.
So moved.
Motion Rowe,
Support.
support Doe.
Just increases in service fees.
For the,
And it goes, and it's all the way through the 23. It was bid out again by the state.
this is for the minutes.
This is for, minutes, a huge project they're doing up in OCS, any kind of scanning to changing things from paper to digital, but they also do things like microfiche, and just, it has a whole list of the services. I pulled the old contract and compared it, and it's pretty much went up by a few cents for every single thing that they do. So,
This, and this is a single source, right?
yeah, it's actually a bidded source. This is actually a contract that we were able to enter into without us actually bidding because the states bid it. This is who the state of Michigan used for archives, as any historical, any kind of filing, digital services. The state of Michigan uses them. And so we're able, the contract we originally entered into them, we did not have to bid because it had already been bid. It's the lowest price that was out there.
It's the current people that we use.
And we've been using them now for
Right.
14, I think, was our first contract. So almost 4 years, hard to believe. But
The idea is to get everything on the website so people can search for information. It's a very long process, it's an expensive process, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. We have a motion and support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item on the agenda is authorization of bids. We have the request of Travis McDougall, IS manager, to award the low bid for the installation of a cellular repeater system to Trendset Communication Group in the amount of $46,634, which is budgeted in line item 101-267-000-977-000.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion by Lovejoy Rowe, supported by Gerald Rowe, to approve the request. This cellular repeater will help with cell phone access in our building. It's it's almost impossible. Sometimes you got to stand on one leg and put your arm out the window in order to get a signal because there's so much brick around. And so this was bid out, and this is the lowest bidder for that. The only question I had, Travis, is that we budgeted $40,000 for this in the 2018 budget, and this is $46,634. So it part of it might have to come out of your budget, is what I'm going to say.
That would be the plan, to pull it out of equipment from IT.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So we have a motion and support to do this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 2 is a request of Clerk Rowe for authorization to waive the financial policy and award the low quote for a mailing to Ypsilanti Township voters to Messenger Printing in the amount of $9,090.50, which is budgeted because we did a budget amendment earlier in line item 101-267-000-730-000.
Move to approve.
Support.
Motion Wilson, support Gerald Rowe. Clerk Rowe, would you like to go over this?
Yeah, the memo that I have in there is the first time ever in the state of Michigan, so if you're 80 years old,
Turn your mic on.
I'm sorry. For the first time ever in the state of Michigan, you can no longer vote straight party, and the data shows that regardless of what party that you voted straight party in, that over 50% of the voters in the state of Michigan vote straight party. We will not be able to do that in November, which is a huge difference, especially for this election, because there's so much on our ballot. And so the smelling, hopefully we're going to make it not sweet. And of course, I always run things by Lisa and people in the office and Brenda, so we'll run it by everybody to make sure that it makes sense. But what we want to tell folks is that, one, you can't fill in one square anymore, folks. It's going to be 15 squares for all the partisan. Just, if you vote straight Republican or Democrat, you now got to fill in 15 different squares if you vote for everybody. Then when you get finished with that, you got to fill in 16 squares for the nonpartisan. Then when you finish that, if you live in Ypsilanti school districts, you got to fill in 6 squares for the ballot proposals, because Ypsi Schools has a ballot proposal. Anywhere else, Lincoln or Van Buren Schools, it's 5. So you can see just that description alone tells you how much longer it's going to be. It's the longest ballot that anyone in the county remembers. Myself, it's now 20 inches. We've never had a 20-inch ballot because they needed the extra inch for all the verbiage that's on the ballot. Because not only are there 5 and 6 proposals, they're very long. The marijuana one goes on forever. It's almost one whole column. The one on boundary changes, like it's being vote people, not politics or whatever they're calling themselves, is very, very long. And then I'm forgetting the other ones right now. But anyways, it's a really long ballot. So we know that it takes people a long time anyways. So the idea was to really explain to people that there's so many places now available. You can pick up a ballot. Like tonight, if y'all want a ballot before you go, I think they're on the shelf. I know they're in. We have sample ballots for every precinct. You can go to websites, there's YouTubes. And so what we're going to do, and they basically say, you can pick up a ballot, a sample ballot at Ypsilanti Township, come by anytime and pick that up. You can also go to this website, and here's where you can find out, read your ballot, figure out where you had to vote. It's really important that you take the time, at least 10, 15 minutes to read the stuff before you come. If not, plan on being there if you come in the morning and the evening. Probably for 2, an hour to 2, maybe even as long as 3. The projections are 4.7 million people voted in the presidential election in 2016. Depending on which expert you want to listen to, they're saying anywhere from 4.3 to 4.5 they're projected. So this is going to be like a presidential election, only worse in terms of lines because the ballot's so long, another extra inch, and because you can no longer fill in that one. And when you have to do different circles, you're going to read them to make sure, because there's and it's not just, there's 5 parties on a lot of those now too. So you got to make sure if I want to vote the Democrat or the Republican, then I make sure I'm getting that right one. Whereas before, you could just fill in the one. And even if you wanted to cross, people don't realize, that's why sometimes I'm so frustrated by it. Because you can fill in that one because you think, overall, I vote Republican or Democrat. But then whenever you crossed over, it just would vote for the other party. Then it would go back to the straight party. So it's not like you you couldn't go over and choose them. But anyways, I can get on a soapbox about it. So anyways, I'm done. Any other questions? I'd be glad to answer. I think this is a way to encourage people to, and also we're going to tell them about absentee voting and encourage people that is another choice, vote absentee.
Trustee Eldridge?
I just had a quick question on the cost. How many households?
It's, did I have the exactly?
It's not in the.
No, I said, okay. I know he took the list down from, I think I got it. It's in one of the.
That's 24,000, I'm not sure.
24,000 is smaller. That is the smallest. It was, the registered voters are what? Was it 50, 52 or something? So this is going to 24,000 households. Addresses, yeah. Apartments, whatever, yeah.
And then my only other question was, somebody mentioned earlier, I'm not sure who it was, that the county may be sending something out and the state may be sending something out. So are we duplicating and spending money where the information's already going to the houses possibly twice?
I reached out to the county to see if the county clerk was going to do a mailing to everyone, because I do kind of feel like if I was county clerk, I would want to do that. And they were supposed to discuss it tonight at the county commissioner meeting. So, I mean, I do think if they did that, then we wouldn't need to, but we need authorization if they don't do it. And then the state of Michigan, I read it somewhere, it's in my vision, that it said that the state of Michigan has to notify people because it's a change. So, I mean, I can verify that as well. So you're right, there would be no.
And I mean, I want the people to have the information, but it seems like we're just duplicating a service
No, I
and
know.
spending 9,000 where we could
Right.
spend 9,000 better somewhere else.
You're absolutely right. I mean, if the county's doing a mailing, we don't need to. I haven't heard anything. I can't imagine we wouldn't have got something from that unless it's some other organization and not the Bureau of Elections.
I don't know, but we can, that would be a friendly amendment
Would
then.
the friendly amendment be that
If the county's doing the mailing,
if the county or the state are doing a mailing, that we could cease doing ours as long as residents have the information? I don't care if it comes from us, the county, or the
Right.
state, as long as they have the information.
Right. That would be a friendly amendment, would have to be, Jimmy, would that be acceptable to you? And Gerald Rowe, would that be acceptable to you?
Yeah, I guess I want to just discuss
Is that
first.
yes?
It's a maybe. Is it okay if I ask a question, clarification from Stan?
I thought I heard you say yes.
You did, I'm sorry. Stan, do you feel any strongly or differently if it comes from the state or the county? I think that I would prefer it come from the county, just because Larry Kestenbaum is like, he knows our residents, and, you know, I have a questionable feeling on how the state runs things sometimes.
I guess I don't. I think the information is going to come out correctly either way. If we end up sending it out, though, I guess I would ask this, that the trustees at least get to see a draft before it
Yeah.
goes out.
How about, is this okay, Stan, for a friendly amendment? Like if it's the county or the state, as long as we get to see what that language looks like?
Yeah, and if they don't send it, I guess if the
Wait.
county or state are
So
sending
the
it out.
friendly amendment was if the county or the state sent out a mailing, then we're not going to do a
That's
mailing.
correct. If we
That's
end
the
up,
friendly amendment, and Jimmy said yes.
Well, then I guess I'm gonna say no, because I'm concerned that if the language is weird, that our residents aren't gonna understand it, and it's not coming from someone that they can just call up and say, hey, can you, you know? So I respectfully say no.
So we have a motion and support to send it out regardless if the county or the state sends it out? Because the friendly amendment was to do that.
I will say that. I do
So-
not accept the friendly amendment.
Point of clarification. It could be clarified, basically, that if I have it correct from what I'm hearing from trustee Heather Rowe, is that she would like to have it be, she's fine with it if it's sent out by the county, but not the state.
And if
Is that-
it's the
is that-
state,
if
I would
that's
just
okay?
want to make sure
I just want to make
that
sure I'm
our
clarifying.
board or the three-time full elected officials have a chance to read it, to make sure, or even if our attorney wanted to read it, and just to make sure our
right
residents
now, your
understand
amendment
it.
died, so.
Yeah, it's
Chair.
fine, but I guess just to
Have to be
explain
another one,
myself,
yeah.
you're correct.
Madam Chair, can I rescind my motion?
Your amendment, or your motion.
I'd like to rescind my motion.
We send your motion of
Yes.
approval? Okay.
So just to further clarify, sometimes when our state sends out information to residents,
Madam
I
Chair.
don't mean this in a disrespectful way at all.
I move to approve this agenda
Okay,
item.
I guess I was done explaining. Thanks.
I move to approve the agenda item with the contingency that if it comes from the state or the county, then we won't send ours out.
second,
Madam Chair?
Yes.
If
We
I
have
could
a
just-
motion and support to approve it contingent upon if the
Yes.
state or the county sends one out.
And I will continue my clarification, as I was in the middle of a second ago. But sometimes when our state sends things out, it's not very clear. They don't use verbiage that some of our residents might not understand. So that's my concern. It's not that I want to just spend $9,000 for the heck of it. I just want to make sure that our residents actually are able to understand the significant change in their ballots.
Okay. I heard you.
Thanks.
Any other comments on this?
Yeah, I would just say that if another entity is going to send out something to explain this change, and I'm all for saving our residents' tax dollars.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I would concur with Trustee Wilson's statement, so thank you.
They're not going to mail anything out?
I don't know if they are. This is if
You're
they
talking about
do.
like $20 million. I mean, there's over 5 million that voted. There's probably 8 million registered voters. They're just, the state. Now, the county might.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, one thing, I'm sorry. I think in the friendly amendment, what also died was it an opportunity for the trustees to see the mailing if it is needing to be sent out by the township? And I think that may have died in the friendly amendment, so I need a point of clarification. Because I know it came up.
I mean, I can just send it around to everybody. I don't really care.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm not sure I understood one word you said.
Okay,
So
I'll be,
sorry.
yeah, no
I'm
problem.
sorry.
No, you're good. I think in the friendly amendment, in the discussion, it was brought up by trustee Eldridge that if the mailing has to be sent out by the township, that the trustees well, let's put it like this, the full
Yes.
board would be able to see it.
Yes.
Yes. So I just want to make sure that was not lost, because I think it was in the friendly amendment and it may have got lost.
It's not in the motion currently.
Right. So can I make a friendly amendment to?
I
Send it
think we can do it.
We can do it without
I'll
one?
just do it, right.
Thank you very much.
I don't have any.
Good point. I finally
The
understood.
more eyes on it, the better, because I don't want to do one of those mailings like Brent and I did one time.
Right. So we do have a motion and support to approve the agenda item if the county or the state does not send out one. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Gerald Rowe opposes.
Thank you.
Motion approved. Motion to adjourn.
Can I make
So moved.
other business?
So moved.
There's a motion.
No discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Meeting adjourned. Go ahead, clerk, if you want to.
I just wanted to say the ballots are in, and so we hope to be mailing them out by first part of next week. The ballots are in, which is, they're kind of ahead of schedule a little bit, so we're excited, but we've got so many requests in for absentee ballots, but that doesn't mean if you don't have one in, get one in.